everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Let's start today's topics. The U.S. Department of Transportation's Office of Defects Investigation has opened a preliminary evaluation on Tesla Model X vehicles after 2 reports of seatbelt failure. The regulator has noted that these incidents involve the failure of the front seat belt to attach to the pretensioner while driving. The investigation affects around 50,000 2022 and 2023 Tesla Model X vehicles. Tesla has yet to comment on the matter. Tesla has certainly been through its fair share of vehicular drama in the past few years. NIO, a Chinese electric vehicle EV maker, recently began trial operations of their faster and more efficient battery swapping stations, aiming to take on rivals such as Tesla Motors. NIO emphasizes how their approach to battery swapping can reduce service costs and be a more viable option compared to rapid charging technology. The company has set a target of 2,300 battery swapping stations around the world and has 1,323 in operation as of March 23. From the data presented, nearly 60% of the power replenished for NIO cars came from swapping batteries, while 80.5% of the power from the 14,000 chargers conducted by the company were for other EVs. NIO boldly goes where no other electric vehicle maker has gone before: fast, affordable battery swapping. Apple Inc.'s rollout of its Buy Now Pay Later service, Apple Pay Later, has caused Affirm Holdings, Affirm, stock to drop 8%. Despite this, industry analysts suggest Apple's decision will only further solidify the BNPL category as legitimate. Despite the efforts to legitimize the BNPL by Apple, it seems Affirm Holdings and their shareholders have been left feeling the brunt of it. Apple has been publicly accused of unfair labor practices, including illegal firing of workers and interrogation related to unionization attempts at its retail stores in Kansas City, Missouri and Houston, Texas. In addition, Apple workers at retailers around the nation, such as in Atlanta, New York and Oklahoma City, have been attempting to organize for some time now. The protests by shareholders and workers have led Apple to state that it will examine its commitment to their unionization efforts. Apple certainly makes it uneasy for its workers to unionize, yet continues to prove its commitment to upholding the highest labor standards for the good of its shareholders, of course. Microsoft has been reported to be nearing a settlement to suspend antitrust complaints from European companies Aruba, OVCloud and the Danish cloud community. It is believed that an agreement with concrete commitments may be announced within the week as the parties enter the last stages of negotiations. Microsoft has previously announced its plans to change its licensing practices in October 2022. Following the feedback it received from European cloud providers, representatives of Aruba, and DCC have declined to comment on the matter. Microsoft certainly wants to make sure that it takes the competition seriously. Eurozone economic news releases have caused the euro to climb today, with the ECB Governing Council member Muller saying there is room to raise interest rates. The Italy's March Consumer Confidence Index unexpectedly rose plus 1.1 to a 13-month high of 105.1, stronger than expectations of no change at 104.0. Looks like the euro isn't in need of rescuing and is instead doing the rescuing of other fundamentals. Bravo euro, bravo! Meta Platforms Nasdaq Meta, the company behind the metaverse concept, has found a financial plan to allow them to invest heavily in the future without sacrificing results. With interest rates on the rise and increased uncertainty in the global economy, the company has to scale back their long-term plans and find ways to control costs, using layoffs and not filling open positions as part of their strategy. Despite the layoffs, CEO Mark Zuckerberg has reassured that the changes made will enable the company to achieve their financial plan, and the stock is beginning to look like a growth stock again, with Wall Street expecting a 48% earnings increase this year and 17% next year. Looking at the amount of layoffs, the company may be doing more with less, but only time will tell if this plan will pan out. Meta Platforms recently announced plans to lower bonus payouts, change employee performance assessments to twice per year, and cut costs by closing several projects and teams, reducing office spaces, and cutting travel expenses. Additionally, the company announced layoffs of 11,000 employees in November, and an additional 10,000 job cuts in the coming months. These changes come as part of Chief Executive Mark Zuckerberg's declared year of efficiency. No wonder efficiency is at the top of the list, as Meta Platforms attempts to cut costs while hoping staff reviews will encourage employees to voluntarily leave the company. This is everything for now on the Wall Street wackiness. See you in another time.